Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Today we have another folding bike over here, which is a Polygon Urbano. If you're someone who started cycling during pandemic, especially at 2020 after the first MCO lifted, you probably will be very familiar with this model because this was one of the hottest selling bike in the market back then. And as usual, I'll break down this video into a few parts. First frame set, second group set, third wheel set, and then finishing kit, and also 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like. And let's go. So for those who are not from Southeast Asia, you might don't know who is Polygon. So Polygon is actually a brand from Indonesia. They manufacture a wide range of bicycles from folding bike, city commuters, gravel bikes nowadays, and then they also have their road bike range in the market. And within local market in Malaysia, they are one of the most affordable and easy entry bike if you are just started from all range of their bike, their price are quite affordable and their components are quite decent. So thanks to a good guy from Lerun Industries, they borrowed me this bike for a review. This review is conducted right after 2 to 3 weeks of riding around with this bike, and this review is conducted after 2 to 3 weeks of riding around with this bike. Also, one more thing about this Polygon Urbano, they actually come up with 2 models this year, which is Urbano 3 and Urbano 5, and there is a slight difference in terms of finishing in between these 2 bikes. So let's go into this Urbano 3 frame set first. So this bike over here, this is a 20-inch 406 folding bike. Bifold, you can see there is a hinge in the middle of the frame. Very typical folding mechanism. I think this is a commonly used folding mechanism for the past 20 years. The frame material, this is an aluminium frame set. So like I said in my previous video, aluminium is one of the best material when come into bicycle material. You can see the welding over here is quite neat. In terms of geometry, it is a traditional curved dolphin frame design. You have your seat stay, you have your chain stay, you have your main tube, and you have your head tube, and of course your fork over there. The welding I can see is actually quite okay, I would say. Tidy at some parts, not as great at some parts, but pass lah. The fork over here, this is one of the main difference compared to Urbano 5. For Urbano 3, this is a high tension steel fork, which usually translates into a heavier weight lah. So as usual, water bottle cage mount over here. You have your rear pannier rack at the back, which you can install your rack if you need to. You can put on your pannier, you can put on your luggage and everything. You have your mount over here, you have another mount over here. At the front, at the head tube, you have the front block mount which you can put on your back, just like Brompton. If I remember correctly, most of the bike don't have this front head mount, and Polygon is one of the first brand with the previous version of Urbano. They have this supported, and it is really something spot on because as a urban cyclist who riding a folding bike, I wouldn't want to wear the cycling jerseys that come with pockets at the back. I need somewhere to store my phone, I need somewhere to store my wallets and things like that. And with the mount in front, it basically solves the pain point. And of course, there's a lot of good things about this. It's actually come with a kickstand mount. It actually comes with a magnetic system. And this is a disc brake frame. The color, if I'm not mistaken, they have 2 to 3 colors option. The colors over here is actually a pink neon orange kind of mix. Okay, I don't have words to describe this color, but it's actually quite attractive. The main hinge over here, it's not something very special. Is it as stiff as Turn? I don't think so. But is it as good as Dahon? I guess it is. So that's pretty much about the frame, and the next one I'll move on to the group set. So this bike over here, it is actually an 8-speed folding bike. So if you follow my channel long enough, I will always encourage buying a bike that have 8-speed and above. Reason being is anything more than 8-speed, it is usually a cassette system. And a cassette system will enable you to upgrade your parts easily in case you want to upgrade. For anything below 6 speed or 7 speed, it usually comes with a freewheel system. It's actually locked onto your hub. And if you want to upgrade more than 7, you actually need to change your hub or your wheelset. You actually need to change your derailleur, you have to change your shifters and a lot more things. It's like almost changing everything. So with 8-speed over here, it is actually very something decent to start with. So the derailleur is a Shimano Claris. Shimano Claris is the entry-level road group set with the trickle-down technology. 8-speed Claris is actually very decent. Come with a great looking satin grey finishing. The crankset in front, it seems like a very generic crankset where nothing much to talk about. It comes with a very huge chunk of chain guard left and right, so we won't get any chain drop. Most of the folding bikes nowadays, one bike is something that everyone will go to. With the small wheel and translate into lower gear range, 8-speed one bike is actually more than enough for you to tackle most of the terrain. Because you say if you want to go to Cameron Highland or if you want to go to Gunung Jerai, then maybe not enough, but most of the time, 90% of the time, you will be good enough. So by taking away the front derailleur, everything become much more simple and everything become much more easier. The shifter in front, this is a Shimano non-series 8-speed shifter. You have a window over here that show you what speed you are at, which is something welcome. The brake lever is a Tektro brake lever, cable actuated. So even though this is a disc brake frame, the caliper is actually cable actuated instead of hydraulic. If you ask me, what's the difference of cable disc brake compared to hydraulic disc brake? Of course, there's good and bad lah. If you talk about the good, so the maintenance is much more easier because you're basically dealing with a cable instead of a liquid. However, in terms of braking power, it's actually not as great as hydraulic, or sometimes it's even not as great as rim brake. But like I said, if this is an urban riding bike, it should be more than enough. So the caliper, I can't find any brand on it. It seems like a generic cable actuated disc brake caliper. So everything is pretty much generic, and that's it. Straightforward group set, entry level, easy to maintain, good enough for most of the situation. And now let's move on to the wheel set. So now, this folding bike is actually a 20-inch folding bike, and a lot of people actually confused when they go to a bike shop and they want to buy a 20-inch tires. Usually the shop will ask 406 or 451, and this is a 406 20-inch tires. So what's the difference of 406 and 451? How I usually explain to newbie is 406, usually it can take wider tire. You can get balloon tires like this one over here. Sometimes you can get Suabe Big Apple, which is very plushy. It gives you some comfort, but also you will suffer with more rolling resistance. While the 451, it is slightly bigger at 21 to 22 inch in terms of diameter, and also the tires are much more narrower. With that, you can pump up a higher pressure, and of course, it is a faster bike. Depends on the brand. Dahon, for example, for their lower range city commute bike, mostly come with 406. But for their high performance, slightly performance oriented folding bike, it comes with 451. So this is something that you will need to know if you want to upgrade, because Wheelset is the most cost-efficient upgrades you can ever make. The rim over here, it seems like a pretty generic one. Again, you have a Urbano sticker over there. Like I mentioned in my previous video, usually bicycle like this, most of the component, it will be a OEM component, which means Polygon will look for a factory who are usually made wheelset and get them to produce a wheelset purposely for this model of bike. And with a proper brand come into place, if I'm Polygon, I will also source for a wheelset factory who have a good reputation. Hence, like I say, over here, you will see Urbano sticker at the wheelset. There is no label, no brand at all at the hub. Front and rear hub is the same. It is a quick release system, and I'm pretty sure the spokes got no brand as well lah. Another thing is the tire. The tire over here, it is this brand called Delhi Tire. I haven't heard about them. I'm not sure. I guess it is like a third or fourth categories tire brand lah. Wheel set done. Let's move on to the finishing kit. Now the finishing kit over here, this bike again, because it's an entry-level bike, there's a lot of things is OEM. The saddle over here, we have Entity saddle. Entity is an in-house brand for Polygon. Just like any other brand out there, Giant, Specialized, Ridley, whoever, they usually have their in-house component brand that produce components or parts for the brand itself. So on Polygon bike, you will see a lot of Entity products. The handlebar, basic aluminum handlebar. The grip, you have some sort like a palm rest over here, which is very welcome. The handle post, you have this telescopic post. You can adjust your right position easily with this. Either you want to do it a bit more upright or you want to do it a bit more aggressive. The hinge over here, it looks like a very old Dahon clamp, something like turn clamp system, but this is of course it's an older technology lah. We can see there is no welding over here as well, and this might be a one-piece aluminium handle post, which it is something that will add up the stiffness of the bike. Seat post, nothing fancy, just a black stick, 33.9, no marking. So once you find your perfect riding posture, you will need to kind of agak-agak. If I'm the owner of this bike, this is probably the first thing that I will change away. Pedal, very simple plastic aluminium pedal, foldable. So when you fold it up, the full package will be much narrow without the pedal pointing out. What else about this bike? It seems like a decent bike without much to talk about. So I think that's it. Because I don't have my wireless mic today, that's why you see I'm holding my phone as a mic. Now let's move on to 3 things I like and 3 things I don't like. I'll start with things that I like first. The first thing is definitely the price point. The price point are a sweet spot for beginner. I think with that price, around 1,500 to 1,800, you get a decent brand, you get a decent components, and also you get a decent frame. That's what I always encourage others people when they want to buy a new bike and their budget is within 2,000 ringgit. Now, second things that I like, it is a reliable brand. It is widely available in the market. If you go Shopee and you search Polygon Urbano, it's everywhere. You know where to get and you know where to service your bike. Rodalink is the place to go whenever come to Polygon. Plus with the strong brand in the local market, right, the second-hand value of this bike are always there. The third thing is the practicality. So from the adjustable handle post, from the front brackets mount, kickstand mount, luggage mount, you can install mudguard and so on. It is obviously these bikes are designed with the practicality in mind. Basically can handle any types of riding that you want to do other than racing lah. Now 3 things that I don't like. The first thing will be the relatively normal / old folding mechanism. So from the main hinge and also the handlebar post clamp, it's not the most modern design of a folding bike. The second things will be, it might due to this particular bike or it might due to the clamping system, this bike actually creak for quite a bit, especially when they're riding up hills and all those. I know it's a very common problem for folding bike, but this bike creak a little bit more than others that I feel. Okay, to be frank, I don't know why, but it's kind of annoying. So that's something that I really don't like. And the third things will be, it's not exactly this bike problem, but it's more like the 20-inch folding bike problem. It's kind of bulky when you fold it down, and it's kind of heavy if you want to carry it around. Of course, you can push, but you can only do in one direction. This is basically every single 20-inch bifold folding bike problem lah. And I think that's all for this video. If you like video like this, do subscribe to my channel and also hit the little bell icon so that you get notification whenever I upload a new video. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.